If you are the type of person who is also a perfectionist, someone who likes to give it their all and try their absolute best, person who doesn't like to fail or be embarrassed, really calling myself out here. It's so funny because we all start from somewhere, and I do remember being not so good at things, but now when I'm bad at things, it feels 10 times worse. I feel like sometimes we have this idea of ourselves, of our ideal selves in our head, where we want to be super on top with the schedule, eating clean all the time, having all the time to do your hobbies, to have your interpersonal relationships, to be successful in your career. More times than not, I feel like I'm only hitting 50-70% of that ideal version. And sometimes there are things that we really want to do. We have a goal to be consistent with some hobbies. Looks at myself who hasn't posted in like a month. Or just, water intake, going to the gym, like all the things that you would hope that you would get together by a certain point in your life. Sometimes it does not work out that way. Perfectly. Or sometimes you have an idea in your head where you want to like get everything right before you do it so you can show up and be your best, but I sometimes feel really paralyzed from either all the options that I have or just trying to make something perfect. The point of the video I wanted to record is that if you're not feeling super well or several aspects in your life are not quite in the position that you want, like some core aspects, some core pillars in your life are a little out of whack, it's going to be really hard to accomplish your other pillars because one pillar is lacking. But the core thing I want people to remember is to not beat yourself up for that, because it's not a race. It does suck sometimes when you realize how much time has passed and you haven't made progress towards your goal, or at least not any obvious progress. One thing I'm learning, especially as I've been content creating over the past several years, is that it's really good to just kind of put yourself out there and to try and to show up. Even if it's half-assed, even if it's not perfect. Like sometimes just doing something I think is really important. I might feel cringy looking back at some videos, and I might have archived quite a few of them. But nevertheless, I'm very proud that I at least put myself out there and I tried my best, even if my best was only like 50% of what I know I'm capable of. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janine. For those who don't know me, I'm a 31-year-old designer, creative, artist, content creator. I've been making content since I was a teenager, albeit not that good. But nevertheless, I tried. I was a brave little toaster. If anyone knows that reference, it was one of my favorite movies. I'm really motivated by helping others, especially because I've gone through some really shitty things and I never ever want people to go through the same things. So if I could share my story or the things I've learned or things I'm thinking about that maybe helps your own story in your journey, makes you feel less alone, or helps you navigate your own challenges, I'm all for it. I also deal with an autoimmune disease called psoriatic arthritis. I've made several videos talking about my experiences, so if you are interested, feel free to join along and learn more. I just believe in transparency and being as honest as possible about what I have been through. I am a mixed Asian American individual with 2 Asian ethnicities. I've always felt a little bit othered, and then I recently discovered that I have ADHD, so realizing that I am neurodivergent, I've been slowly coming out as queer and just embracing all parts of my identity. I feel like I've made a lot of progress with my career and my personal life, but I still have a long way to go. And I just find myself reflecting and sometimes feeling a little down because I notice how many weeks or months go by without me making progress on things. So I'm trying to remind myself that that's okay. I'm still trying, I'm still thinking about things, I'm still taking steps. It's just not as fast as I might want it. And especially for endeavors or hobbies that are more creative and expressive, like it's just hard to do those things if you're not feeling well. Like if your health is kind of out of whack, you have medication side effects, or maybe you're still getting used to things in your career or whatever. Like there's so many aspects that are in my life that I'm still figuring out and trying to balance. So if you're in a similar boat, like I don't want you to be so hard on yourself. If I could go back in time and tell myself who would write all these yearly resolutions for losing weight or wanting to finally be consistent with something and then realizing how I'm quote unquote failing and not doing it perfectly, I would tell myself, chill, just do what you can. If you can't do it, oh well. If you change your mind and you find it boring, okay, that's just not your thing anymore. That's fine. Gosh, I wish someone told me that. I made a video about reasons that you should quit streaming, if it's for you or not. And part of me just wishes I did earlier, there's so many factors in every decision that we make and every endeavor that we do, especially if it's something involving like a community and people who rely on your schedule for like, entertainment. There's just a lot of different dynamics. So all in all, I have a lot of empathy and I just have a lot of thoughts. So I'm going to try to push myself to just post them without it being perfect. And if you like this type of content, please feel free to subscribe. It helps me feel more reassured. This is really a big passion project. Maybe one day this could be even more than that. And of course, if you like the video and you're resonating, please leave a like and hit the bell. I really wanted to use my channel to kind of talk about things that are important to me, things that I'm learning, my experiences with school, with career, with life. It's just so easy to be hard on ourselves. Like of course I want to do a good job. Of course I want it to look a certain way. I'm going to share with y'all a story. So when I was in grad school, I was having a really hard time because once I started grad school, I actually dislocated my knee. If you've been following me for a while, you know I have psoriatic arthritis. You know that there was a period in my life where my knee dislocated, not due to any injury specifically, but I believe it was because of the PSA and my inflammation going so high. And during that time, I did not need surgery, but I did have to do a lot of physical therapy to basically learn how to walk again. And I was really struggling in my first year of grad school. In general, I tend to feel a little isolated because I don't feel like I fit in with a lot of people, especially my peers. But in addition to that, I just was struggling with my health. I was recovering. I was living in a new place. It was a new school. I was being challenged. And I was actually fortunate enough to work with a career coach during that time. I sought her out because I was feeling really lost and I was contemplating quitting grad school. And she actually had me take this personality assessment test called Gallup. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it. In general, I am the type of person who likes these types of tests. I do understand that these tests can probably apply to everyone. It's not 100% scientific, but I still enjoy it. Especially as someone who's young or who was younger, who didn't quite know a lot of aspects of my own personality. I really relied on those tests, like specifically the MBTI tests and astrology, to kind of help me define like who I am and what I align with, what I want. So she had me take this test and basically it outlines your strengths, and there are like 32 strengths or 64 depending which version you buy. So she listed all 5 of my strengths from the test and we kind of worked through each one, and we were able to kind of figure out based on each of my strengths what is important to me, where I excel at. One of the things I really appreciated about working with her is that she kind of helped me understand that each core strength is basically a pillar of who I am. And if one of those pillars is suffering, then it's going to be really hard to succeed in the other pillar. And basically, it's really hard for any of my pillars to be successful if one of them is dragging. I know for my health, in general, that's a pretty big aspect of our lives because that part was suffering. It's very hard for me to succeed in my other strengths. I can't be as empathetic because I am in pain and I'm suffering. I probably can't communicate that well because I am not feeling well. I don't want to talk if I'm not feeling well, hence why I don't post regularly. And when I learned about this stuff, a part of me was like, duh, okay. I kind of knew that, like, it's common sense. If you're not feeling well, or like if you stub your toe, you're not going to be very empathetic because your toe's hurting and you're going to be upset and in pain. But if you put that in a broader perspective, if you are not feeling well with your health, then you might not be able to show up, or your other strengths are not able to shine as much. And unfortunately, that is something that I'm trying to learn and remind myself. Besides us choosing how to allocate our time, like if you do the math and work backwards and realize like how much actual free time you have, it's not that much. There's so many things you have to do, whether that's your chores or, keeping your work afloat or talking to people, or maybe you really value going out. There's only so much time in the day. I don't think it's just a matter of our time management. I think it's also just our energy. A method that I recently kind of discovered is basically working backwards and actually figuring out how much time we have. So if there's 24 hours in a day, you need at least 8-ish hours of sleep, so 24 minus 8 is 16. And out of those 16 hours, if you're doing a typical 9 to 5, you're probably working 8 of them, so you have 8 left, right? And then accounting the time that you have to commute, you have to eat. I guess that depends for everyone, but my commute is at least an hour one way, so 2 hours. And then eating, I don't know, maybe 2 more hours. So you have like 4 hours left. And within those 4 hours, what do you want to do? Do you want to work out? Do you want to meal prep? Do you want to work on your YouTube channel or anything else that is your hobby? Do you want to just potato and rest and recover? Do you want to do extra work? Do you want to do freelance stuff? Do you want to do more jobs? I'm talking about this is a little stressful, honestly, but what I'm trying to make is to be graceful with yourself and compassionate, be understanding. The TLDR, too long, did not read or listen. I'm making this video as a reminder to myself and to others who are similar to just chill out. Understand that there's other things that has to happen before you can do some things. Like you can't run a marathon if your ankle is sprained. Well, that's kind of deep, honestly, but you kind of get it, right? Like you have to deal with the ankle first, and it may feel like a bummer that you can't do the marathon, but there's just a list of priorities that we have, and unfortunately we can't always have it be perfectly all laid out, and sometimes you can, but it's hard. And just if you're not there yet, especially if I could tell myself I'm not there yet and that's okay. Like I'm on my way there. I'm making progress. Even if I can't do a full workout, if I can just do one squat or 10 squats every hour. If I can't post consistently, I at least want to post. And it doesn't matter when, where, whatever, I just want to do it. I think that's a pretty good start. And maybe you can't do that. Maybe you actually just need to potato and just be on the couch with your phone playing a really fun mobile game. I'm speaking from experience here, if you can't tell. Like maybe you do need that rest time, and maybe that's just your priority and you cannot do that squat right now. It's a little hard with things with health though, because I know that eventually it will catch up and it will be harder later. So I'm trying to make that more of a priority. So maybe it's a question of like rearranging different things in our lives so we have more time or energy to do that stuff. I don't know. If you have it figured out, please let me know in the comments. If you don't and you're also struggling and you feel similarly, I'd love to hear. Just please be kind to yourselves. It's easy to compare to other people and their journey, and it seems like everyone has it together, but most people do not. And if they do, then that's fantastic, but that's also them and their life and their own unique circumstances, and it's not all the same. We just need to do what we can for our own selves and our own body and our own life. But as always, you know I'm rooting for you. If you would like to join our Discord and be part of our Everbloom community, please subscribe and join below. Also, thank you if you made it this far in the video. Holy, this is weird to hold this mic like this. I feel like it's like a claw. Like, I mean, I see people do this. It kind of gives me something to do with my hands, and I kind of like the sound quality, so I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know what to do. Like, I talk with my hands, but I don't think about it. But then when I'm on camera, I think about it. Ugh. You know, I'm trying to get ready. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, can I film now? Is it okay? If you like this type of content and you want to hear more, or you want like other topics, please let me know. I'll see y'all later. Mwah. Say hi. Subscribe. Like and subscribe. Ah! Okay, bye.